Hello viewers and welcome to another edition of the program Talk to the Camera with me, Isatu Smile Sesay. As you know, say campaign they go on right now for the June 2023 election. Today the camera they na the NURP party office as we can talk to the presidential candidates for make it tell we about the agenda and also how prepared the party be for this election. And if you're fortunate for go State House, waiting get for be a first plan inside the 100 days. Hello, welcome to this interview. Your name and who that you be.
Good morning, Smile. My name is Jonathan Sandi. We all man can call JPJ. Me are the 2023 presidential candidate for the National Unity and Reconciliation Party, where we symbol and see the quota cross movement.
Okay, so viewers go want to know how many times this party has so done the partake on election.
This not the second term. Fambule Atuna know we party now only 5 years old. From December 2017, we then register. This is not the second time. The first one, like we they say, show face, because that time they will not get party structure. They will not get ward, will not get constituency executive, will not get district, will not get region. Then register we 1 week before the candidate nomination start, meaning we'll not be able to forget candidates then for local councils, members of parliament, and then minimum attempt. That in the account for votes, as I say, name recognition. For they then also, yes, Jonathan Sandi and the National Unity and Reconciliation Party then get a clear political ideology. So from that end, they smile. We don't invest into the ideology very, very well. And we're very happy that the second term also we go do good at the polls.
Okay, so why decide for join the other political party then, but you decide for form your own party?
Yes, the idea is not to maybe I'll correct small sign. Say I wanna decide because the Constitution 1991 calls say in our all Smiley can join a critical mass of Sierra Leone can decide for establish a new party. Not to say we not join alliance, we're not there against alliance, we're there against this, but we own party were established because, as you know, Smile, I be work with former President Jan Kaba during the war term, and I will manage for Pull Salon from war to peace. So, with that institutional memory, they say we don't come out as a country, especially what they call conflict transformation. A country, any country or what we call state, especially like a salon, where we done the panwa, how for move on from war to peace, recovery, post-war reconstruction. Then you go to development. That is what we say development. Now the path down, Bookman and Kitchen at the path down with the step by step. Like when you born Peking, then Salon be done there after independence. After independence, you can't get war. People then die. You then cut people their hand and do everything. So with that scope there, we think and say, then party there will be the first step. Like for example, if you take the SLPP party, it then be established for gain independence from the way to man them, and then we succeed. So any party where they come, the APC will be centered around the same principle of multi-party democracy and post-independence situation. Where we young generation now, we will be done the party war, then we move from the war to peace to recovery. We can't find ourselves, especially like me. I don't take oath. Women will be the first chief of staff of national security under President Kaba regime. Say, we not go want for this salon go back to war. Ever, we not go want, even if in our generation we die today, other generation can, we not want that. We go also want for achieve Sierra Leoneans and dignity. Me don't they work outside, for the United Nations for over 20 years or more. I don't see Boku country, even tomorrow they travel against mine. For going to other country now because the crisis now. Now, as you know, Senegal don't begin get some problem in the Sudan. Me currently at the chair of certain organization within the African Union Peace and Security Committee. So I get that responsibility. If I help other country then why not to young countries? So we thought and fit say some of the root causes of the war. What to make we go pan war? What we call the triggers, the drivers of war. Then we put on one report we fumble they all know it and call the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report, the TRC. Some of them good cause then they then say we go to war because the government them after independence when I be APC SLPP them be the rule and especially under one party state now be the APC. then say, the report say, bad governance, corruption, over-centralization of power, the supreme authority of the president at that time under one-party state. We also see poverty. We also see hunger. We see people that made it to line for rest and permanent and day. The petrol now be the crisis because men get in the 70s, we get student strike. I remember I did Form 1 or Form 2 we'll go strike. I be small son of my boy secondary school, you know. So we see all that and day. And to the extent that 1991 we can get 11-year-old war, we lost 50,000 people and more, then cut people their hand, they amputee calves and this. So the report say, following or go back to war, there are certain things that they will for do, like corruption, we not for do. Corruption, wasteful spending, gross human rights violation with impunity. When I say impunity, even when they look like that soldier, that policeman when they shoot now McKinney. We never for no way to happen. We know like
so now based on that they make decide for form this on a young party.
Exactly. Now I make they say people they may ask me yesterday, but then in 2021 they may ask me why we not join like which they ask me so smile. And they say, look, we parties and call a National Unity and Reconciliation Party. We establish and for address some of the causes them now this current situation, not to the past. For example, with emergence of social media, with the kind of politics or they practice, you know, where they practice Mandela versus Stimuli, where they vote based on regional and tribal lines, it don't they embark with small. And therefore, they bring what they call, they divide we. People then they say, you remember if you did now we convention, when they talk say, we team now this year now be overcoming the challenges of a divided country. We divide, no make a pocket. We get 18 tribes, they will get 17 political parties, but we know they work together. And therefore, the fundamental for we make sure so we change that narrative. Then I make we establish National Unity and Reconciliation Party. Say the only way we'll go able for better, we'll go able for improve the cost of living, the hardship. Now we will do together as a nation and a people. And then all the tribes, the 18 tribes, and work together. And then the 17 political parties are able to work. But above all, the other aspect of reconciliation, now out of the TRC report, it say the question we can ask ourselves say, they want the way the war be embarked. The woman they wouldn't be raped during the war. The people they wouldn't be caught, they are what they call amputees there. Then they're in a better situation today on the worst stuff in terms of the cost of living, the medical, the transport, then picking their education, the outside and the sleep, affordable housing and shelter. So we ask them questions in the last year, the whole of last year, we do what we call one district, one dialogue. Because our last year make 20 years out of where the war be done. You know, the war done January 18, 2002. So from that period to last year and at 20 years, imagine you get picking. This year I make with 21 years, we don't come up power. And we don't begin to see the signs of the war again. So the waiting the NURP where they promote and a campaign they promote. Now that ideology they say, we for make sure say the recommendations of the TRC report we able for implemented to the fullest so that we not go back to war, but also we go improve the life and dignity of we people them.
Okay, since we dey into campaign now, viewers go want to know how prepare on a party be for this coming election.
We prepare, as you know, we want to take this opportunity for tell all the party members and supporters, including one of the media, they will be done to follow some of the work they were done to do. You know, for under the new Public Political Party Regulation Act, the condition for they participate by the election is very tough. You know, so for example, them party they would be registered with 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month, 2017 for participate now the 2018 election. Most of them, as you see, Smile, they're not in the competition. They're not the party like some of them party then some of them every parliament, for example, they're not very viable. They're not get candidates them for presidential. So for we go say we tell God thank you that went through the process. We comply. What is it called compliance? That is government rules and regulations where PPRC and the government and parliament be put. We make sure we adhere to that. One, we do a convention, that we'll do a lower level election ward. We do the constituency, we do the districts, and then till we go to the national convention. After the national convention, April, when take place 7 and 8, now we start with candidate nomination process. We on It is very difficult because of the under the PR system in our favor. It exclude a number of because 85% of the people in our party are vulnerable people. Then people that are unable to get income anymore. And the Constitution, Section 35(1) of the 91 Constitution say, well, the party can get responsible for sponsor anyone or for be candidate for local government, parliamentary, and this. But when it comes to that, and the way the law come, one of the challenges we will face is that where the law can say for double. Like Freetown has on a 40 candidates you for put, but you know they only pay for them 40 for local councillors. Then you get for double and to 80. So across the nation, it'll be very difficult for we as a young party. We what do they call? We finance based, we resource mobilization based. As you know, for membership, then due donation is very small. So we think happen. We're not able to feed all the whole 16 districts. We'll not be able to feed all candidates across. But I will tell you, see, like a place that they will get total. In total, we get about 54 members of parliament who will feed in. They will get mayors then in most of the cities. But some of the challenge the way that they go to school now, and most of the candidates, now lack of resources for intensify their campaign. So we too don't do. We don't divine some other strategy. Say, look, if you want to reach with your message of the cut across national unity, saying that the only way down the road will go for secure economic prosperity for we people there and for campaign on the issues where matter to we get for fan on that way. So very grateful, for example, when Sarah Link on a radio network, Sarah Network, they help we for promote a message. Like what you they do so. I mean, when I follow we doing the nomination, they will go for go do them. We don't send down the viral and everybody appreciate the work on that they do. We also want for thank you to 98.1 AYV and SLBC. So the media landscape, we're very happy with that a little bit. Down at the help we for promote with political ideology that we the fet for. We say we vow for feds for the poor one there. And then poor one and they include women the way them sexually, I mean, commercial sex workers, for example, one for pull and a treat, we want for make sure, say, amputees that we care for them, the youth, then the high youth unemployment, we want for reduce that, and the most vulnerable people in our society.
So, the whole campaign process where they go on at the country, how you get for it, the security?
The security is, in terms of peace and security, relatively calm a little bit, although there are one or two incidences across. We say no spare. I just come on on Sunday. As you know, we are leading at Kono Political and Tonkolili on Saturday. In Kono, for example, we get complaint and say we mayor candidate Sabongo. Then some level of political intimidation they go on there. And we try to manage that, but we don't go lay complaint to the local unit police commander. Say then they look into it. And then the district security committee, what they call the DISEC, for themselves look into the incidents of election security issues. We get similar case na Bumpenkao, where Jeremiah Koroma, when one of a member of parliament, and the outcome parliamentarian Charles Abdullah, they type to attack and they even talk and they go burning oaths. Like the Bobo get the audio them where they say, you know, for why go team up not them, not the constituency. So we get them, but those are things we can able for resolve because now competition and people then get forget. So we don't formally write to PPX, we write to ECS, they write to the police, say, Jeremiah not for being intimidated or for allow us with a member of parliament about this kid for they compete fairly. So as they go by, we do not know whether it will increase, but for time being, now then 2 or 3 incidents, then the number we don't get were related to election security, peace and management.
So what about the 30% quota for women who are able to provide them on a party?
Yes, because the way the ECS structure, the electronic system, you know, say this term candidate nomination process, not to just manual. We're not doing by paperwork. We do it through online. So the system then teach we people they have for doing where you put 2 man name, the 3rd one for be woman. So therefore, no way no they will go escape that. If you put man name, they bounce. So we will not be guilty of that. Most of we say ECL say some party then the way they may not be adhere to that tomorrow, but we make sure say with people that will feed in terms of the ratio, number of 30% of women them for members of parliament, and then the rest of mankind. we're able to do that. In fact, some situation in the now we were able to succeed too much on the local councillors them. But most of the local councillors, the women can get now be women and for them be. They even outweigh some of the man them. But we take God thinking at Kono, now Bo, for example, will get full MPs then we meet the 30% quota.
Okay, so and the way forward, sorry, you get any intention for joining any political party like an alliance through the election?
See if them can't join me. I really go on and then join me. But the first thing is we are here where they compete now for win. So I believe say we are here to win. And we want for win because we get the best kind of policy agenda for Salone. And I take this opportunity for appeal to we people and say, and I not look for old party or new party. We all by birth or by blood, we all we origin, we grandpa, we grandma them. Now two APC SLPP. If we say we continue for vote based on APC SLPP, like my son and Smile, then say Sandi, Jonathan. If they say Jonathan to take you understand, you go say now one crow boy. But when they say Sandi, automatically people then go feel say you know Mende. And therefore the perception at tongue, anybody way in people that are Mende or na Gizi or na Kono and this automatically na SLPP, not so. Now like I get party there where I go school boys come about because I speak to me as well. Then na Otula then Tula then Toli then Bangora then Kagbo there. As they say you know Ahmed Kagbo, you know Jibril Tula, Jibril Toli. All man if you say oh wait, na the Mende people will tell you say this Jama Mumia. That means you are a Timini and automatically you are APC. So now that dilemma that we did, whereby you sound himself, people in the class you say you are either APC or SLPP. And that thing I know run across. Because you come to politics, you will find out see most of the northwestern tribes then center within western area and north. And therefore the traditional party APC they say, oh, if I'm a Limba, if I'm this, automatically Northwest is my party, APC. Okay, so the same night they happen at Southeast. As you say the surname then and people then they say, oh, no. So we cannot have a divided nation along Mendeline versus Timiline politics. Now that is guy for say. We need for the watch with public policy issue. We don't pass that. We all, so this election where they can, enough will be about political party really. Because we all are brother and sister then. Whether not the 17 party then, the 13 party there with the team up, APC, SLPP, National Unity and Reconciliation Party, the Million Party, NURP, any other party, we all are the same brother. But watch we serve among we 13 candidates there. Would that qualify, experience, and get the political leadership style for Pool Salon per situation with it now? For example, we are not working together. Would that experience in governance, inclusive governance, we say inclusive governance, we go for bring all the 18 tribes and come together, the 17 political parties together for work under one common national agenda. Because if we not get the politics right, we're not going to get the economy right. Because you go find out, say, if today one of them two parties that we feel say them for, one of the feel say for B, if then can the other one they undermine them. So within a dilemma like now with this government they empower the SLPP, you go find out say because of Mendeline versus Timiline politics, do we and politics of exclusion, or they exclude itself, we're not able for doing that. So the best option we'll get, the best leadership we'll need. Now Jonathan Sandi. Now we get the idea on how for improve national unity as the basis for secure economic prosperity. How for make sure see we put Sierra Leone beyond economic hardship, beyond divisiveness.
Yes. Let me say you succeed for go State House for the next 5 years, how Salon will look like?
Oh, it will be very nice. The vision, how one secure Sierra Leone, don't put what we call the Big Six agenda. In fact, they say other agenda, they don't come up. But you might not say the Big Six agenda, we don't begin selling for the last 2-3 months. The future of Sierra Leone lie on 6 points there. Smile. And my brother and family them. One, we want to make sure we secure and unite Sierra Leoneans. Sierra Leoneans, they don't suffer too much. Now, resilient people, when they say resilient, people that don't get clean heart. They say free town. But together, in the last 10, 15 years, or 20 years after the war, or 21 years after the war, I think, we know they together now. Like we made the first time. I mean, the country highly, because of electoral competition, is highly divided between Mandela versus Timberline. We need for come together. So we want for make sure see the way for do and the smile. Now for complete the national constitutional review process. That one day, none of the manifesto there, where for example APC and SLPP don't put, talk about constitution, cover complete the constitutional review and send it into referendum. And not to just the paper. Like we had the Kenya in 2010, where I come out Geneva, I go Kenya, where then transfer me for the UN. We facilitate a process together with the government at that time. Forget a new Kenya through a new constitution. I know it in that process there. With me experience, we go able for facilitator. Constitutional making process or review for able for inspire in our generation and then by also then generation them. Because not to say therefore dance with the constitution that this is a new country. Because after 11-year war, we don't suffer so much. We for rebuild the country. We say, Hosanna to the highest, this is a new country. But we not get a new constitution. And from the Lome Accord, where Fode Sanko, Tijan Kaba, and Johnny Paul, all the parties to the conflict where they negotiate, they say the hate pan the case. Who say all the tension in the common for the war be now the constitution will get 1991. Now part of the problem where they define the supreme rule of now this country. So where we come as part of enhancing political cooperation amongst tribes and regions, we go on for make sure so we complete that constitution day. Then what do you mean by completion of the constitution? Because the whole competition is now about work business. Everybody, if you say if in party win based on Mandela versus similar way come party picking and then they get work no more. We want for make sure so inside that constitution the principles they have for shape work now ministries, now department or other agencies then go based on what we call regional and tribal balance. We will put on at the constitution. Now what do they call the preamble, the first page say anybody way na president or way na head of past data, if you want for employees you for ensure you get tribal and regional balance. So the only instrument for use now we supreme rule of law instrument when at the constitution. The second thing is we want to make sure say political transition where they hand over power from one regime to the other. We get law. We don't get now what they call political transition law. Like where Tijan Kabame the commodity and Eskoma the commodity. How you hand over power to His Excellency Brigadier Mada Bill, we don't get any law. So as part of consolidating increasing political cooperation among political parties as well as tribes, then we want to give new law. We're going to make sure we manage the transition from one regime to the other. So now we'll get halala because part of the tension with it now, we may not be aperture man. We can find out some problem between the regime will be there under Ernest Koma and the other thing. Then we want to improve the cultural situation. So we'll go get cultural policies because we'll not get a national cultural policy where they make sure whether again Ojen, whether again Bondo Society, whether again Tamaboro, then they dance together. We are pride. This is then can say culture, art and heritage. Now go give it this we want. So when we come, we'll get a national policy. We'll go clearly define the national cultural values that we'll get. So all of those factors go able for give it this alone one. The second agenda will they promote the big six. Now for fix the economy. Once we don't get the politics right, and part of it will be when I come the first 100 gate, and also you have to ask me that I want just push them. Now for make sure we facilitate a national political dialogue conference. That dialogue conference that's a come inside the first 100 days with the organizer. We all go if not been money and everybody. Would I lost, would I win? We all go to do that dialogue, political dialogue conference. We'll go get what we call the roadmap. How we want for Sierra Leone. Because attending now, we don't win based on we manifesto. But we will say we want for secure and unite Sierra Leone for the prosperity of tomorrow. We need for come together and with my skills and ability, we'll be able to facilitate that dialogue across all 18 tribe representatives and 17 political parties. What do they agree on as a roadmap? Saying so one take a country. Now that one day I go follow for facilitate so that every Sierra Leonean will not be left out. Even the minority, the amputees, the women they wouldn't be raped, or vulnerable young girls, and they all go to another agenda day. The third aspect is increase in food production. Angry, the hunger, they say this year, now Salona the highest, now in the country they receive the highest hunger. People them very poor now. And it's true. Cost of living standards is high. The exchange rate for things is very high. Now, everybody they blame Ukraine and Russia, but yet still we never for produce what they eat. So we want to make sure, say, we become a nation. I want to inspire Sierra Leoneans then for pull them from consumption because bright bobo they have tobacco. Research don't say 75% of Sierra Leoneans are eating and eat no more. We know they produce, we know they work. So we're in a consumption country now. For 21 years after a war don't come on, we know the power again. We they on aid dependence, humanitarian needs now they wait for. What IMF can't, the World Bank can't, the UN can't. Hey, they don't give away money. EU don't give away money. How long ago they pay that money? So I want to make sure, say, under my leadership, we move Sierra Leone from consumption to production. And one way to do production now for increase the stock we'll get on livestock, that's the animal production, cattle rearing, cow them, sheep them, goats them, no people then they eat and get enough protein. Then fisheries. The fisheries sector, I work in fisheries for 7 and 8. May not be fisheries economics. 7 years or more I work. I know how much fish we get. Now it will be the cheapest source of animal protein for person. But we're gonna market now. The cost of fish not even do for people. If you watch people in plaza, so then they eat now. If we're gonna cook this up, adapt if a cow kanda, how much then they sell and let you talk about herring or you talk about barracuda and this. How many people don't see snow? Then the last one are crops, rice. Vegetables and that we need for increase. Most of rice every year we import over 3 to 400 million rice. But for God's sake, we'll get where the tomabon rice. We go take money from the Turkish people then over $2 to $3 million. But we'll not see nothing come on tomabon. But now, after 21 years, we've not able for the feed we serve and the export. Because only when we produce, now we go export. Now we don't go sign the African Continental Free Trade Agreement for trade across different nations in terms of competition. If it's Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, them produce now for can. Now they no more go to eat money, but so with dollar, I mean with Leones not go survive again. So me one for say we change the orientation of Sierra Leoneans them. Follow move from consumption, we sit down at Frito, we sit down at Makeni or other place, follow for the produce.
Okay, thank you very much. As we don't listen to what you they say, thank you very much. I
know, as Shaw says, Smile, don't listen to what they say. As I say, now big six agenda. I just mentioned 3, but the last one, what I want to mention is we want to promote equality and inclusion of vulnerable people because they don't exclude them, the amputees. You know, so now we stand for you don't they work with them. You don't they now workshop and this. Then what we call sustainable reparation, the medical health. We want to advocate for that. So that's number 4. Number 5 is rebuild public trust in state institutions. Most of the public goods and services like electricity, water, you talk about the data what they even use, they don't increase. The problem is the police, the safety and security, the judiciary. Do we trust government institutions? The one that we know we own state institutions, now we mean government one. We not trust the nature and type of trust. What's a trust? We believe them for deliver them services and whether not safety and security, whether not access to justice, whether not data, whether not electricity, all man they grumble for ESA. So part of our agenda now for we increase public trust, and that means for make sure we get the right info. The last one now with foreign policy. We don't sign a number of treaties and protocols, but waiting make foreign policy where they say we want to promote the regionalism and globalization for reduce it, because we don't find us 21 years after war. We not go to that traditional war where they fight with by bullet, but yes, still with standard of living and poverty is still weak. Why? Why we country still they bien? One of the reasons where we find out before they put with manifesto or with big 6 agenda, we say we're not for Salon not able for survive on his own. We they among Mano River in your country, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea, they were ECOWAS, they were the AU. So most of the things they were done they meet with now outside they come out can't destroy we. Like for example, between 2011 to 2014, Smile. We make boku money out of iron ore box. And you know, say Tijan Kaba bidede, what be then all ends how they get money. Like na Konosai, na Kailao, then Rutai, the rebel and bidede. So we don't be the profit. But when they do disarmament and take gun and all my hand, peace come back, all man go say to where His Excellency, former President Ernest Bai Komaka, what do we see? We see say God can bless we with iron ore, we get African mineral, London mining, Boku coming in can you go Marampa, you go Pepel, you go Kono, you go Mabuoka, then Rutai, Bauxite, all the iron ore can, then the price go up. So by the time with iron up price on bauxite price up, 2011 to 2014, Salon make boku money. We register the highest way to call GDP, gross domestic product, and that's how they measure and the 20.something%. Now the whole West Africa. Now we get the highest within that 3 years. Then now we begin put we money in other foreign bank there. We keep them. Meaning we don't begin generating. We begin donate like the crisis in Mali where the fight begin for done. Sierra Leone donate money for doing Annette Koma. And me sure say all man begin shop guys say that's in the way Annette Koma go meet Obama. And I say what this country we don't come up our this struggle. So look I don't they can find. So begin gladly but alone. But waiting can happen. Clap na Ebola come. Where Ebola come 2014 now. All the gains they will be done do. And Ebola now from one small village, Masantana, Guinea, that they start. But we not manage to bother them very well. And therefore, when it come, it pass can Kailan from Kailan, it begin to square people there. They will begin to transfer people that Kenyan and Makeni. So we not manage with national security well and the border security management and control. Now that they happen with the COVID-19 as well. When COVID-19 come, we not manage the borders then very well. Yes, we get lessons there. You know, we not suffer like how we suffer about COVID, by Ebola, what they call global health crisis, but we not be managing as effective as well. So we want to make sure that the risks and threats, the way they make Sierra Leone economy go back and people empower, they come out externally, we make sure we strengthen with defense and foreign policy and peace and security. The threats such as the one way media and GATT right now, which make at the, as you know, at the campaign this thing at the Sky Forces, if I become a commander-in-chief of the armed forces, I become, as president, become the chairman of the National Security Council, we will make sure the borders are secure, air, land, and sea, them very secure from threat and risk to Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, and then ISIS, because then they near stress level. I just come on Libya. Then they can't, not to say whether they say now Muslim versus Christian business, but outside poverty day, because me don't be head of director for the United Nations office in Somalia. I don't understand. I don't work at the Lake Chad basin. Then outside them, but then they take kush, work not they manufacture 75 or 80% of people they are unemployed. Now they then terrorists then defend for go introduce them. We see them go inside, then change them now. We all go to sit down, so then go begin bomb also. Do we want that as an after Ebola, after COVID-19, or after the war, Ebola, COVID-19, and now we go and see how violent extremism and radicalization go bring we come back down. I believe say the possible way go better do that. The question you ask, we qualify and experience for push Sierra Leone based on my leadership style, for make sure say Sierra Leone survive through a wall of regionalism and globalization. Now, Jonathan Sandi, I get a better understanding of Sierra Leone domestic and foreign policy needs, so that we go survive. 8.2 million people will go survive. I could be an effective commander-in-chief of the armed forces because I understand, I've been involved in the reform of the military and the police. Now, me make sure we help them for go Somalia under army zone, for go the police, intelligence services, as former head of ONS. We go able for do that. They'll go able for secure the prosperity of our country. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Smile. And I'm sure the last point I want to make to me people in our salon are the big one. Do ya wanna not vote based on old party then? We all belong to all them parties, and now we get a party then. Whether na National Unity and Reconciliation Party, whether na APC, whether na SLPP, we all. But now watch we all. Among all this confusion, all the challenges they will get, hunger, divisiveness, wasteful spending, corruption, would our best place, would I get the experience for do that? I think say I get the political leadership style for make sure say we come up parent here. And above all, I want big one. My name is Jonathan, as you know. Inside the Bible, Jonathan means a gift from God and the Quran. A gift from God. And waiting the happen, waiting make her the ask on June 24 go be my birthday. And the only gift when I want from Sierra Leone, now for Leone vote for me, so that I go battle for redemption of the soul of this country. And as my name sound, Jonathan, I saw the Hebrew in the column, it means a gift from God. So that now I go resign back now the international community permanently. Like what Tijan Kababi do, we work in our government many years back. He left 1967-68. He go back now the UN. Then later in 1995-96, where he retired, come back home, able to move the country from war to peace. And then we see say all then that network that we may get, we able for benefit from moving country. Now the similar thing I want to do. If you support me, I remember why they going at the UN, it tell me say when you go now for come back one day for can consolidate with legacy. So I want to see myself as that Messiah. I want to reincarnate in his name to say, look, you move this country from war to peace, but when it comes to recovery, post-war reconstruction to development, we still a struggle with generation. So when I watch we all, I think say I get the ability for make sure say we put Sierra Leone back on track beyond politics of tribalism, regionalism, wasteful spending, and exclude them poor and corrupt regimes we currently with the face. And I want to tell you, thank you. Say my birthday gift, now for I vote for Jonathan and Sandi on that day, so that we go celebrate a new birthday for me.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
As another listen to the presidential candidate for the NURP party, as they call on Sierra Leoneans them for voter in, as he say, in are the only person we fit and also get the ability for change Salone for a better come June 2023 election. Mena Isatu Smile Sesay. Until we meet again to another edition of the program Talk to the Camera, I say, tata.